Well, here we are, lockdown again. Still, I should say still. If anyone's out there watching this, it is currently 11 past midnight on a Monday morning. And the reason why I'm going live as well, I thought why not, even though the image quality is fairly freaking average. I am waiting on a new webcam. Unfortunately, this is no stock. There is no stock. And I can't get a new webcam. It sucks major ass. Okay, so I planned on having a new episode out today. Now I'm going to be that typical YouTube guy. Oh, hey Tony, Tony, you would appreciate this more than anyone else, especially now. So tonight I tried to, I guess you could say, edit some audio for the new episode, a couple of new episodes, and sadly, again, I don't know I have no idea what's happened. I think I'm just coming here to vent my frustrations with you all. For some reason, half the audio is completely gone, like just like a fart in the wind. It just completely disappeared. I don't know where it went. I don't know what happened, but it seems to have been a constant issue. For some reason, every time I hook my Mac up to the console, it doesn't matter what order in, it just freaks out. The Mac freaks out and just shuts down. So, from what I understand, the software I'm using is not really developed for Mac. So I might need to look at another software. I might have to go to Logic. I don't know. I really like Studio Live, Studio One Five, Studio One Five a lot. I think it's powerful. It's great, but it just doesn't want to play ball. A bit like this camera. I have no idea what's going on. It doesn't seem to want to calibrate anything properly. But anyway, so I lost half my audio for some random reason, and then I sat here for 3 hours trying to figure out where it went. So I hadn't deleted it. I definitely recorded it, and it's just gone. I don't know where it went. It just fucked off. Excuse the language, but that's exactly how it is. Um, and I just kind of sat here, and I've had a few emails and questions from people about where the content is. And unfortunately, in case you weren't aware, um, some people out there aren't aware that we are still in lockdown. So we've been placed in lockdown again for the last, I think we're at 219 days total. And this one is just supposed to ease on October 26th. That is looking unlikely, but it's a day that's supposed to ease, which means I might be able to get my hair cut. By then it'll be like 2 and a bit months, so I'm going to look pretty average. I always look average, but that's besides the point. But I just thought I'd come in here live, before I go to bed. I guess you could say give you an update about my frustrations. Um, the lockdown thing has really, and this is not just this lockdown, it's actually stemmed from last year as well. Last year's lockdown really, it hurt me, it hurt my family, it hurt the channel a lot. And the reason being is because I can't go anywhere. And another part of this, I can't go anywhere, can't earn any money. Uh, I have a couple of things going on the side which kind of help, tick things over and move things along slowly, but it doesn't make any inroads to what the channel needs to function. Essentially, the biggest problem is that I have hey dude, how are you, Mr. Drumbeats? Hope you're well. Um, the hardest part about the whole lockdown thing, and obviously the financial burden and all that kind of stuff, and not being employed. I am studying, which is cool. I just finished 9 weeks. I did 10, 12, 13. I did 16 or 17 assessments and questions, and essay questions in 9 weeks, which is stupid. It stressed me out majorly. I think I stared at the wall for a good 4 or 5 hours after I finished my last assessment and essay. Um, um, the biggest problem we have with the channel is the fact there's no location. We can't Yeah, even right now, if I had a location, I couldn't just go to it because it's not one of the 5 reasons to leave the house. And I'm not complaining. I am complaining. I know I actually am complaining. Um, I know we're doing it for, the whole hot fuzz, greater good and all that. I have had my first shot of Pfizer, and the next one will be next week. That's my choice. I'm getting it. I want to look after my family. Um, but for me, the biggest problem is not having, you know, I can get away with not having my own space. It's a noisy chair. I can get away with not having my own space. I really can. Because even just going to a room is enough for me. But when I can't play drums, which is actually my outlet, I struggle. I really struggle, and I haven't physically played um, a full kit like snare, hats, kick, and a couple of cymbals. That's been it for me for at least almost 2 years. Um, so yeah, I'm really struggling right now. I think a lot of us are. Um, so talk us through your kit setup. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh no, we'll do that. Actually, that's a good question. Um, gigging kit. If we're talking like if I'm doing the whole, the pub scene, the cover band thing, um, or the weddings, I like to get in and get out as much as possible, like as quick as possible. I'm not saying I'm lazy; it's just that I'm 43, my back. Um, I use a PDP kit with a DW logo head on it. Now, yes, scold me if you want to. I am using a DW PDP kit. Um, you can't get logo heads for PDP kits, so I just got a DW with the sticker and all that kind of stuff. And that's 12, 14. So a 12 mounted, 14 floor, 20 by 16 kick. Stand drums just vary. And I use a 6000 series light stand. So two straight stands, a boom stand for the ride, and that's it. I still use a 5000 for the hats and 5000 pedals. And I use a really old Yamaha snare drum stand that I can just kind of collapse up, and I can fit it all in a 22-inch hardware case. So I can literally carry my hardware and bass drum and cymbals over in one go. So you could almost be, and I have beaten them before. You could be packed up in the car before the bass players even finish loading his car. So it's that's my live kind of thing. Um, and I've actually even used that in the studio, the 20 PDP thing for a few things. My main studio kit is uh, DW. I use the 45th a lot, actually. It's 10 by 8, 12 by 9, 14 by 12, 16 by 14, and then 22 by 18. Snare drums go in and out. I generally use the anniversary snare. I use a lot. I mean, I got a lot of snare drums. I use a various array of snare drums. Anything from Yamaha, Sonor, Tama, mostly DW, mostly Yamaha kind of stuff because that's what I've got. Symbol wise, now I'm not tied to any contract, so I'm using a mixed bag of just absolutely everything. So at the moment, I think the last time I had a full kit set up, I also use a pancake gong drum, which is pretty cool. I'm on my left or my right. Cymbal setup is a 18-inch Benny Greb Sand Crash. Todd Zuckerman's 22-inch ride. And not 19-inch Zildjian Trash Crash, I think it is. 20-inch Zildjian Oriental ride on my left. The Benny Greb Sand Hats. X Hats are a set of 13-inch KZs. And every so often bring out an old 17-inch Brilliant China Boy low, I think it is. But that changes as well, kind of in and out. Have some splashes every so often, like a 6. I'm very much an old Weckl fan, like the old early Weckl, so 6 above the 12-inch K Brilliant Splash kind of thing. Microphones are all Audix, which are D2s on the racks, D4s on the floor, sometimes a D6 on the 16. A D4, a D6 on the bass drum, ADX51s overheads, ADX51 on the bottom of the snare, I5 on the top, and some other room mics and whatnot. That's generally that's the studio stuff. And if I'm doing a bigger gig, like a big stage kind of thing, and want a bigger kit, I use that. So, do you have any suggestions for elbow pain? Oh, Jeez, elbow pain. Um, I I'll give you. I'm going to give you a bit of a backstory on this one. I've actually never hurt myself playing live. I've either hurt myself going to or going from a gig. Like I've broken my toes just before I put my foot a shoe on before going on stage. That was fun. Um, Broke my other toes swimming in a pool while I was on tour, and that wasn't pleasant at all. It was my left and right foot. So elbow pain. Are we talking? Is it your left or your right elbow? Because that does make a huge difference. I'm gonna say, and also your grip as well. If you're suffering from tendonitis, you know what the greatest thing to do is, if you are like going through some preventative stuff before you hit the stage or practice. I like to take some ibuprofen, like just some anti-inflammatories, not all the time. And if it's around the soft tissue, I'm going to use my right elbow because I've actually hurt this before in the past. I found, even though it was a mechanical problem with my right elbow, it's a more the surrounding tissue that was the problem. So as you say, if there's any pain in your body's saying something to you, like, something is wrong. Um, I got one of those massage guns. My mum actually bought it for me for Christmas, and I use it daily. And I use it with the ball in the end around my elbow, especially around here because it's always tense right there. It's actually kind of hard right now. It's really, really firm. And I use some physio cream as well. But you might need to look at your grip and in terms, and also your position. I know when I do some practices, some sticking and whatnot, I tend to move. I play wrist down, so but I also move my wrists around. So if I'm doing single stroke rolls, I'll actually oscillate between the two grips, and it also gives muscles, a chance to recover, even though very quickly. Just moving between those two grips helps a lot. Um, Something you should also do is also see a doctor as well, if you haven't. Um, I hope that helps in some way or some regard. What is your opinion on Gretsch drums? I like them. I really do. And I'm not just saying that because DW now oversee the manufacturing process for Gretsch drums. Um, if you look back through history, through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, God, even now, you'll see articles like, oh, Jeff Beccaro but he played Pearl drums up in the studio. He played Gretsch. A lot of guys just played Gretsch because it had that sound. I think they went a bit off the rails in terms of quality, a little bit weird around about the late 90s, early 2000s. And they would have gone back to the old Jasper technology now. I think they're great drums. I think they're definitely up there in terms of sound. It's hard to find a bad sounding drum these days. But the Gretsch stuff is, I know one thing about Gretsch drums, apart from the fact the quality is amazing. The chrome work on the drums itself it's the best chrome work I've ever heard. If I was going to hit if I was going to hit a studio and there's a Gretsch kit there, I wouldn't say no to playing it. Look at Lars Ulrich on the Black Album. That was a Gretsch kit with a vintage 84, 85 Tama Bell brass. And hear that drum sound is just phenomenal. I can't get past it. I've played a few kits in studios, Gretsch kits, and I can't fault them. I've played some average ones too, which has been beaten up and not looked after. But that's with any brand really. I think the last Gretsch I played was a stop sign badge, and it was 10 by 8, 12 by 8, 14 by 12 mounted, and 16 by 14 mounted. I've always been a fan of I actually prefer a mounted floor tom. That's just my kind of my thing going back to the 90s. I grew up on the famous trio, Weckl, Gadd, Cluder. So mounted floor toms. Even now, if I was going to order a new kit, I would get mounted floor toms if I was going for shallow depths. Traditional grip. I'm left-handed drummer and play trad grip. I pretty much copied my dad played the same, but made you go. Oh, what made me go through? Is this Glenn Rutherford? Rutherford? I think it is. Um, what made me go with trad grip? This actually came up in conversation with a friend of mine, Dean Kennedy, the other day, when he apparently was told that people who play trad grip can't play rim shots. Yeah, that was a weird interview to watch. I just I can't really play match grip, and I tried for years, and I couldn't get dexterity. I couldn't get detail out of it, so I couldn't. Single strokes fine, but getting doubles, like I just couldn't get the. I mean, you probably can't even hear that, but I couldn't get the. I'm trying to do it now, but still can't do it properly. I just can't get that. If you look at the when you're playing a double and you got that whipping motion, I can't do that with my left. It just doesn't work. So I moved on to from my current treat, my very first teacher, Alice Davies. When I was in high school. I started seeing a drummer called Darren Ferrugia, who I've mentioned on here, and he's actually on the podcast. Podcast is here, no longer on streaming because I killed it because just it was treating through money. It's actually quite expensive to run. And I said to him, "Look, I can't do match grip. It's just something about my left hand. It's just not working for me." So he gave me a whole bunch of exercises. Glenn, I love your playing. I love that kit too. It's an old Ludwig kit. I love that kit. Um, I picked up trade grip probably within 2 weeks. I was just sitting at home. It felt very alien. I mean, who holds a stick? Mind you, this is a stick my son did for me fast a few years ago. I mean, who realistically thinks a stick should be held this way? And I felt just really awkward. But I was picking up some exercises where you'd be starting, almost parallel and just bending it down, just having that flick, and just getting that motion kind of going on. And that was it. Doing all the three basic strokes and all the parallel exercises. I just started to develop it. I picked up my rudiments quicker with trad, but when I play live, I generally do fine. I use probably 60-40, so 60 trad, 40 match, because there's some songs where you just want that tone, that sound to come out with the backbeat, with the butt end. I just find certain songs are great, better to play. Feels more natural to play match on some tracks. Do you know about the Tama Royal Star Perspex kit? It's pretty old, and I do actually. I think something came up on Facebook in one of the Tama groups not too long ago. And that came up actually, the Royal Star, that whole line. They are very rare, and if you do find one, I strongly advise you to empty your bank account and grab one if you can. COVID prices and all, which I think we're all kind of getting a little bit over at the moment. I know I am. I actually tried to order a spare part from the States, and the shipping, wow, I just could not believe the shipping was, I think the part was 45 Australian dollars. The shipping was 189 US. Yeah, really crazy, absolutely terrible. And they're the kind of things that I've been facing the last couple of months. I'd definitely say the last couple of months, but also the last 6 months have been really, really terrible. And that's no word of a lie. I'm not going to be around the bush. Like tonight, I struggled with the computer stuff again, and I'm studying IT. And I couldn't find these files. It's the files there. It's just half it's missing. I don't know what's happened to it. So here I am thinking, do I invest more money that I don't earn into something that is going nowhere? I wouldn't say nowhere. It's just it's stalled. It's stalled a lot. The biggest problem I've found is obviously finding a location to do the channel while my webcam decides if I'm going to be orange, green, purple, or white. I don't know if you can see that. So I did find a place. It is actually a disused recording studio. So it literally is a walk in and just bring your equipment um, and just play and set it up and we'll do what you want to do. But you know, it's not cheap. Even actually the room itself or the factory is not bad. It only serves one purpose. So I had spoken to a real estate agent and we tried to negotiate a better rate, but still, at some point you go, well, the channel doesn't generate any money. So spending $22,500 a year on a studio that doesn't generate any money is going to be a problem. And because I'm studying as well, it's just difficult. So I would love to have a studio at home. That was the plan, have a home theater. But due to legal issues, that's a whole horrible can of worms. We can't even put artwork on the wall. We can't put a hole in the wall. We can't paint a wall. We can't do anything because the lawyer and the engineer says don't touch it, and then we don't touch it. That's kind of it. So, um, really not happy about it. Anyone got any questions? Just shoot them through. So I'm just going to keep rambling before I go to bed. I just wanted to put some content up because it's been 2 months since I've actually been able to do anything, and it fell in a pile of Spielberg-sized dinosaur diary tonight. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just not happy. The Mac is fine. It's actually the Mac has been fantastic, and I have been kind of beating it the last few months. But for some reason, yeah, I don't know what happened tonight. Just shot the video, a month or 6 weeks ago, and then just tonight, no idea what happened. Brett New South Wales here, mate. Just found your channel and loving it. Congrats, Richie. If you ever want more Black Donut, cool. Move that play here, mate. Thanks for being here. We both should be in bed. Maybe I don't know if you study, but I've got the week off. That Black Donut was a real mission to get home. I love. It's one of those drums, man. Seriously, so good. It's one of those snare drums that you take when you take it to a gig or even rehearsal. The first time I took it out, I took it to Crown Casino if you've been there. Played live on stage. When you've got the sound guy, the monitor guy, the lighting guy, and the whole band's like, man, what is that snare drum? It sounds so good. You're 50, you're 57. I'm not far behind you. Yeah, they all turned around, and every time I use it, someone always says, "Man, that snare drum, what is it?" Because it's all black. You can't see anything. The badges are black. Everything's black on it. Always love that snare drum. I still haven't changed the original head on it. Still got the done it black suede head, which I should change, but I'm at that point where it's like, I like where it is, even though it's worn out. I've recorded with it with a worn out head, and it still sounds phenomenal. And I do chat to get one, man. The done it look realistically, in all honesty, the titanium snares, the done it is my actual go-to, my real. If I'm doing any kind of gig, I get one. I just take it with me. It's on the shelf. It's on the whatever the rack. I think there's a spare bedroom at the moment. And I know the case it's in, and I just grab it and I take it with me. If not, I may take the True Sonic, or maybe one of the I don't know, one of the Icons, one of the Yamaha Maples. But where can you get one? You can. Well, the thing is though, that build is it started out as a bit of a joke, more of a dare. Ron put up it's just a titanium snare drums, but it's just the hardware is all black. He put up a poster saying Darth Titanium because Star Wars was coming out and whatever. And I was headed to NAMM, and I said to him, if you build me that snare drum, I will buy it. And he said, I'll think about it. He knew I was going to NAMM. I went to NAMM. I saw him. I went to the NAMM the night before, so the Wednesday night. Oh, Wednesday night? Yeah, Wednesday night. He saw me, and he handed me this bag. So the Wednesday night is kind of like they're setting up the rooms or the booths or whatever. But some industry still goes through and says, I might look at buying those snare drums and whatnot. And he had it, and he hands it to me. I opened it up, and he made it. So basically, it's just a titanium snare drum with black hardware, like the badge is black, the snare drum lever's black, everything's black, washer's black, everything's black. Um, and I paid for it, which wasn't cheap, but wasn't bad. But getting it home, oh, multi-leg, had to carry it on the freaking plane. Got in an argument through customs because I said, oh, it could be a weapon. Like, come on, man, it's a freaking snare drum. Who's gonna fling it around the airport? I don't know. Yeah, and I got it home, man. It's a phenomenal snare drum. But the DW titanium, you put them side by side, man. They both sound fantastic. That's the stuff. All black. Grab my yeah. It's the black. I don't know. It's the thing about the black, isn't it? It's very yeah. It is very draw worthy. It's almost like the Dunnet Tourbillon, whereas the black shell with the gold hardware and the other accoutrement, red and other black things around it as well. That's the drum I originally wanted until I saw the price tag and I realized that I couldn't sell my liver, and it was going to cost too much to get to Australia. So I generally get drums like that when I'm overseas and I can get them directly from the manufacturer, or if I'm going to NAM or whatnot, which hasn't happened for a couple of years now, which sucks. Yeah, gold. I mean, some drums are good with gold. I'm definitely a Yamaha Maple Custom fan from the 90s of the gold lugs. They just worked on those drums. But now I tend not to get any kind of gold. I get rose gold, which actually looks a little more subtle, which looks quite nice. I also really like black nickel, but I'm still a fan of chrome. Chrome still looks good to me. It still looks pretty sexy, depending on the manufacturer and whatnot. But yeah, that Dunnet snare drum is, it's that one and the Keplinger. People just want those two drums badly. And the Nick, again, as I said in the Q&A, the Nick Mason snare drum, at least a message a week if I'll sell it. One day I'll probably, maybe, I don't know, I probably will sell it. But I think the last offer I got for someone offered me, it was close to the 10K mark. I'm like, I understand why, but it's that goes to my son for his first car. I don't know. I just don't want to sell it because I like it too much. It's a very pretty drum. So that's fantastic too. I just had a custom matte black on brass made by Billy Baker. Shipping killed me. Oh, is he stateside? I think he stateside. Yeah, Billy Baker. Yeah. Anything shipping from America sucks. It really is horrible. I am not kidding you if you can, and it's happened a few times. If I need something shipped from America, I send it to Canada first and get someone to forward it to me from Canada. Yeah, Tennessee, yeah. I find anything from America, it's like, for anybody who's even bothered watching this right now, if you are going to get married and you need to buy a napkin, so a napkin is, say, 2 cents. You say, oh, but it's for a wedding, that's $1. It seems to be with anything with postage from America. I don't know why. Postage to Australia from America is hell expensive. It's crazy. So I'm sending some care packages to some friends of mine in the States. Todd, a good friend of mine, Eric Bice. He's not going to watch this. So he may watch it. I don't know. So I'm sending a care package with some Tim Tams, some Cadbury chocolate, some sweet and savory stuff. For me to send a box, say kind of this big by this, filled with food, it's about $40. Granted that shipping is horrible right now because less flights and whatnot, but to get the same package and the same weight from America to Australia would be about $150. And so if you look at the price comparison, say $30 US compared to $100 US. It's a big difference. So here's shipped it via UPS. Oh, yeah, okay. Bend over and take it. That's the sad thing about it. I actually had a drum. Or if you go back through my early videos, I picked up a Yamaha Carbon Custom snare drum. I got it from I bought it from a friend of mine in Canada, and he said I only send it via like FedEx or whatnot. I'm like, oh, dude, send me a quote first, and then we'll, I'll make sure I see if I can do it that way, or we might have to do it a different way. So he just sent it. I'm like, all right. So it's being sent, and then I got a phone call from UPS. So to get this box, and it wasn't as I'm trying to look around for a box that's about the same size as it. It was pretty big. It was, I don't know, it's a box. And it was insured for the full amount or whatnot. I think the shipping came to 741 Australian dollars. And I had a friend working at FedEx who was able to get me a fleet, like a fleet discount kind of thing. And I think that ran me a good couple of hundred. So much better. But yeah, I think if you go back through a couple of other videos, you'll see the Todd Zuckerman MP ring that comes in a solid walnut case, and that by the time it was all packed up, it was the size of a 22 by 18 bass drum box with foam. Like you could throw it off a tall building and it wouldn't damage it. This thing was built to survive a nuclear blast. The shipping, it would have been cheaper to fly my entire family over return to America and back again. I think it was around the $4,000 mark to get it shipped by FedEx. Um, so I just waited until I went over to NAM in 2015 and picked it up from my mate Randy's house in Scottsdale, and drove it all around kind of the state until I got back to Australia. Shipex, their prices are great, but reviews aren't all great. I've heard of Shipex. I kind of, I kind of treat couriers or package companies a lot like I do with telecommunication companies, um, Optus or Telstra. They're all good, but they all suck at the same time. They're either good or bad. You just there's no in between. I've never used ShipX. I've never gone down that path. I try to send things usually from certain parts of the world. So I try and refrain from sending things directly from America. I usually get things from Canada, Switzerland. Switzerland's great to get things from, cheap too. But no, I've never tried ShipX. I might look into it though. But yeah, if you like me, you read the reviews, you follow them, you kind of get a general feel for it. That way, if something bad does happen, you can't be disappointed because, well, you knew they sucked, really. But then, when things go down to Google, like, well, I tried them, can't do much more. But I've been sending things from Australia with Australia Post. If I have to get things around in a hurry, Star Trek, I think the only ones I've had issues with was Sendle. I think I had a couple of small parcels arrived. The boxes were just trashed. Like how they survived, I have no idea. And the Sendle driver was just a guy in a van, like his own van. And to go from my house in Melbourne to another part of Melbourne, and the box never left his van, got just munted. Like, just what were you doing? Like, were you kicking it around? Did you use it to chuck up the end of a couch? The item survived, it was fine, but I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this again. And then I had an item sent. I build Lego. That's kind of no secret. I sent some stuff from a store, and it's like it'll arrive here in 2 days or 3 days, whatever. It's like it took 2.5 months to go from Pakenham to Cranbourne. And it just I went to Sydney, went to Brisbane, might as well gone to Tokyo. But yeah, Sendle I probably wouldn't use again. I did have a parcel sent from, how did we go from talking about drums to parcels? I did have a parcel sent from, what's the place called? America. I had my Galamants book and my sticks and my hat. And I didn't see anything for a month. It just didn't go anywhere. It didn't appear, just sitting around. So I reached out to Ron at Hudson, and he goes, "Oh, We ship everything to Australia via Japan. It's just why? Why don't you just send it directly? But everything apparently Oceania, which is Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, goes through Japan. And so it took 6 weeks for a book to get to my house. Granted, COVID sucks. Delayed it, but yeah, very, very strange. My fault. Sorry for like you're not happy with the chat. Um, did, I mean, I would like to talk to you guys face to face if I could. We could do a big Zoom hang, which would be fantastic. I'd prefer it to be honest. Um, which I might do one day. I don't know. Might get like 20 of us all together to hang out and have a drink one night. Yes, this is straight orange juice. Earlier, probably wasn't. Um, it's it's the only way I get to talk to you guys, kind of face to face in a way, especially when your computer just doesn't like recording shit. Um, yeah, I will do it. I will do it. It's just gonna get a bit of webcam. Can I get a bit of lighting too? I'm currently sitting in. If anyone looks around, you ever look around the streaming room and go, oh, "What's going on?" They see the pretty lights and gaming memorabilia. I have my son's banner, which is sitting up here. I have this guy, which I'll talk about in a second. These low volume symbols are great, but they're a necessary evil. I'm not a huge fan of them. This is supposed to be a bedroom. It's not a bedroom. Hence the whole engineering issue we've got in the house. Anyway, that's another story. So I've actually been playing a lot of practice stuff. Been working through the Gatterman's book a lot, which is fun. I like the sunrise sunset effect happening. it's crap. I don't know what's going on with it. I was working earlier before, but I've been using there it goes again. The low volume, low L80 symbols from Silgen, which I picked up. I think early in the year. I was supposed to go on tour, do a few weeks up and down the East Coast, but of course, Corona. They're really cool, but when I say they're a necessary evil, they just for me they feel weird, especially the hats. Like, you put the hats together and it's like, hey, yeah, they're cool, they sound good, but I'm like, oh, they don't feel right. It's like you just don't get the rebound of the hats. The Crash and Ride are a bit better, but the hats I just can't. It doesn't feel right. But the heads though, I'm using the Evans mesh heads, and they actually feel great. So I try and avoid hitting cymbals as much as possible. And I was working on a whole bunch of stuff, and of course, gigs got blown out. Moved from 1 month to another month to another month. Injured the hand, which was this one. It's still not right. It's not great. I mean, this is fine. I mean, playing it's not a problem. But it's when I use a computer or if I sit down and do that motion, I kind of get this twinge of a nerve. It's just from overuse. So I've been doing computer stuff for 20 years in an office, so it's kind of just played up from that. And then Morgie's come up. I was supposed to be playing a wedding on October 9th in Geelong, and I dare say that's not going ahead because we won't be out of lockdown by then. So what income I would have earned during studying is completely dissipated. It's gone. And I was talking to a friend. If I don't return to live gigs on a regular basis, I don't honestly think I'd miss them. If that makes any sense. I'm 43 now. Oh God, I can't believe I'm 43. I'm 43 now. The body is getting older. I'm nowhere near as fit. I'm not fit. I'm just not. And I'd love to go to the gym and get back into gym work and lose some weight. That would kind of be ideal at any point, really. But it's 43 years. I know, but I'm at the age where I wake up in the morning and go, right, what's going to hurt first? Funny enough, it's usually my right knee and my right elbow. So yeah, as I said at the start of this whole live stream, the whole COVID thing really really hurt a lot. Not too sure where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do with it in terms of the channel wise, because I can't really make content while my wife works from home. If she stops working, we stop eating, which is kind of food's important. That's on the best of days. Um, and she works from home, which is we got an income, so we are lucky in that regard. But I think every so often you need a vent. And I think I'm using this open source to kind of do that, especially after tonight's computer debauchery. I'm looking at my Mac and giving it stinker. I don't think it's the Mac. I think it's something else. But I think I'm going to move on to maybe Logic to record audio from now on. Just because for some reason PreSonus console with Mac. PreSonus Studio One 5 is really made for PC. Really. It is still cross-platform. I've used a Mac. But, the console works fantastic. But for some reason, every time I plug it in, the Mac just has a heart attack, has a freak out, and then goes into thermal lock straight away. I don't know what's wrong with it. The Mac is apparently fine. I don't know, it's a software. I think it's a software conflict issue that's been going on. Lockdown's been tough on all of us. Yeah, it's been. I don't like to swear in my videos. I try and bleep them out, but I'll tell you now, shit. Lockdown shit. It's. I try and keep a positive mind as much as possible, and it could be so much worse. You look at the people in America. I have a lot of my friends are American, and seeing what they're going through, I think it was last time I saw was 761,000 deaths. That's crazy, man. Like that's crazy. So as bad as that is, we are still lucky here in Australia, but you can only lock down people for so long. And I'm not the one to talk about anti-vaxxers and freedom marches and things like that. I can see why people are frustrated though. I can see why people are venting and getting and cracking the shit so much. And I'm not far off it from just losing my mind. There are definitely days where I sit at home, don't want to pick up a pair of sticks, don't want to think about drums, don't want to think about anything, and just stare at the wall, turn the TV on, and just look at it, and just numb my brain in some way. But when you've got responsibilities, you can't. Hey, Jim. Hey, mate. How are you? Welcome to Dr. Phil's special heavy hour. So yeah, it's for me, it's been tough as your only outlet, my real creative outlet's been music and been drumming. And when you can't do that, it's you can prolong the inevitable, which is the breaking point, for so long. And I think I'm actually not far from it. I did say to my wife, Tara, a few weeks ago, I said, if I don't get a space soon and go and play, I don't know if I'll even go back to playing. It's just been that long, which sucks major ass. And I think we're all at that point. I think most of us drummers, we've always got that problem of having volume problems. Seeing my friends in America who are struggling, not just mentally and physically, but just financially as well, and it all just kind of it all just it's horrible. Because you can't do what is normal, whatever. Yeah, I think the old normal's gone. I think we'll have a new normal, which will be an adaptation of what we had in our previous parts of our lives. I think I don't really comment on people's YouTube videos. I'm under I Am Drummer because it's my channel. I don't want people to come and attack me. I think I'll give you guys one explanation. It's really starting to start big time, man. It's sucking hard. Like it's sucking so hard you could turn into a vacuum cleaner and suck the world into it. Um, it's probably one thing I should address, and because I was about to go on a tangent as well, is that I'm quite, I guess you could say, aware that you see a lot of gear come through um, the channel. You see snare drums, and probably not as much because of COVID. Because can't get things going and can't get things here. Um, so a lot of people kind of assume that I just buy them. I don't. I basically, if I can review a drum, I'll review it. If it's a friend's, I'll borrow it. I've got a mate of mine, Marcus, has got 10 vintage. He's got literally mint condition Rogers, Black Beauties from the 70s. He's got Superphonics. Um, he's got, Slinger Lands, Leadies, and he's like, man, take him and play 'em. I'm like, I want to play them. I can't play them because everyone's home. So, one thing I'm very aware of, people say, you must be made of money. I'm not. That's just the bottom. I just don't. I'm not made of money. People send me things, I send them back, or I borrow them. And sometimes I will buy a drum, and I'll go, well, I really want this drum, and I don't really need that one, and I'll sell one, and I'll just move things in and out. So I don't want you to think that I'm always buying. I'm made of money. I am going to buy a Powerball ticket on Thursday though, just in case. So yeah, it's I kind of see, and I don't know if you guys are like this too. I like to watch a lot of YouTube than TV. So when you see certain channels who are really starting to, like how you I guess this is the thing that really got me going a couple of months ago, and I've vented to a couple of friends of mine. There's certain parts of the world that are just in absolute ruin financially. I mean, it's completely cactus. That country's got, millions of lives. People are dying, getting COVID left, right, and center. The economy's in the toilet, and you just went and bought your third Ferrari because people support you on Patreon or something. So I kind of sit there and go, it's. I'm glad you're kind of doing well, but at some point you need to kind of reel it back in, so to speak. That's just. I mean, I'm not saying I'm jealous in any way. I just was like, watching it, especially the car YouTubers, like, today, I'm buying my fourth supercar. It's like, really? You really need another one? I mean, I don't need another snare drum. I don't need another drum kit. But this is $500,000 here, so I try and keep the channel. I always love to let you guys that I just don't go and spend money and just flaunt it. I just don't have it. Hold on a second. I still got the camera I bought, the Black Magic, to do videos with. I still don't have a lens for it because the lens, with the Metabone speed booster with the lens, is $2,000. Camera, no lens. So yeah, I'm not running out and spending copious amounts of money on things. USO is opening up and they're starting to do gigs, but I still don't have a roadmap. No, we don't have a roadmap. And which is, I don't know if anybody watching here, if you just Google Tina Arena Outburst, she's an Australian singer, a lovely singer, and I've gigged with her a couple of times back in the day. And one thing she mentioned here about gigging is that whenever there's the bushfires, for example, or the world's in chaos, or some tragedies happened, the art community, and we're talking arts like musicians, theater, just all the rigging and all the sound and everything that goes into it, the artists and the art community and musician community all jump together and go, right, we're going to jump in this, we're going to fix it, and then COVID came and basically got nothing. If you don't have an ABN, don't pay GST, you get nothing. I've got friends who, I spoke to a friend of mine who, he was quite upset with the phone, and he straight up went, I've got no money. I was like, no one's got any money. He goes, no, seriously, man, I've got no money, which means I don't have any food. So he had no food. He goes, I don't know what I'm going to eat. And I wasn't too sure what to do. I was really upset with it at all. I don't have a lot of money either. I run the drumstore.com.au, which is now selling Audix mics. Don't think they're selling off the shelves. I sell a couple, and it's keeping me afloat just. But the the horrible thing about that phone call is I was hearing a friend break, and I didn't know what to do. So I said, "Well, let's go. We need to get you some food starters." So I picked him up because his car had no fuel. You know, this is a man who's went from being a touring musician, teaching whatever, to having nothing, and he couldn't pay rent. But the whole rent thing was subsidised and pushed back for a bit. So I went to the supermarket and I said, "Let's not buy perishables. Let's buy some. Let's buy some loaves of bread we can freeze. Get you some UHT milk so you can put some milk in there. Let's get you some full cream milk though, and just get him food to live off for a couple of weeks." And that cost me about $300. And I went, "Well, I've already got food on the table for my family. He has nothing. So as long as he's eating and I'm eating, everything's going to be okay. And then we'll figure it out from there on." So yeah, so seeing Tina Arena finally stand up and go, "You know what, we're done. Artists are done. We've had enough. We're you know we as I said, I've done charity gigs before, and I've done them for free because that's what you do. You don't got to charge a charity to get to do the gig." Um, but yeah, she really let rip, and I agree with her 100% that we are done. So next time something bad happens and the government says, "Oh, musicians should put a concert up," and so you'll get two middle fingers, fairly quickly. Um, my last rehearsal was the 1st of August. The kid's still in the bloody car. Just no, yeah, mate. I know, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I really do. Motivation is hard. It's not. Motivation is one of those things right now where it's just like I just don't want to do this. It's just not there for me anyway. I just like, well, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So I look at the sticks. I play for half an hour. I just go, I want to get on a kit, and I play on the mesh kit. I play on the PDP, and it's still great, but it's just like I get guilty that I can't bring you content, and that what drives me is because I sat here tonight. The swearing that came out of very quietly came out of my mouth towards this issue, and I was just like, I can't do anything about it. And then when Tara came in, it's like, "You okay?" And I was like, I'm upset because I can't do the one thing I've done for the last 35 years. The one thing I know I can do to a good standard, and I can't do it. So now I'm starting to think if I do get a place and I can start playing, I have to catch up in like a year and a half, which is gonna be hard. Um, yeah, still no lens. I could get subpar lens. I mean, not subpar lenses, but other lenses. But the one I want to get is a Siemens 18 to 35 millimeter with the 1.7 micro four thirds metabone speed booster. It looks amazing. I've turned this camera on twice since I've had it. It's been a year. So yeah, it sucks. Jim, no, I appreciate the good words, man. I think we're all being good at some point, helping other people around. People helped me in the past when I've been stuck in a bind, and I think it's paying it forward is the biggest thing. He's offered to pay the money back, and I said, "Hey man, let's just buy me lunch one day." Um, and he's still a good friend, and he's one of my friends that I'll never part with. We'll never separate from. He's one of those guys you don't talk to him from about a month, and you see him in person or over the phone, and it's like you saw him just yesterday. You could do that. You're a good man. Thanks, mate. I think we're all in this together. But as one person said, we're all in the same ocean, but just different boats. And I think I've got some friends of mine who are, I'd say, very well off, they've worked hard for their money, which is fantastic. But they can go a couple of years without earning money and still be fine. And yeah, they sometimes it's a bit hard to watch because everyone's struggling. I'm Going back to study, I'm studying certificate 3 in IT, and then next year started my cybersecurity degree. So um, yeah, it's all pretty full on. I have some other things in the pipe works as well in terms of employment, but I don't know what's going to happen with them yet. Have no idea. You're still waiting for emails. I did testing last week for it. Haven't had anything back. It was a 3 hour um, psychometrics and psychometer testing, and yeah, it blew my mind how long it took. Um, yeah. Anybody got any questions before I might. It's 1:06 in the morning. I should really go to bed. Our son wakes up at 7:30. Here's something. Here's a fun fact for you. We can't have our son sleep in his bedroom, so he sleeps in a bed in our room because he can't sleep in his bedroom because it's cold, it's windy, and the sheer amount of creaking that goes on in the roof wakes him up, scares him. So I can't go into detail about that. Maybe one day. But yeah, I know I'm a nut. You know what? It's the musician in me. Um, I could stay up till 3, 4 in the morning and function somewhat normally. Doing gigs for oh since I was 15, 16. And especially when I became an adult and started driving, I wasn't coming home until 5, 6 in the morning. And those gigs were the ones from I used to play in a place called Geelong. Um, and I would not kidding you, the gig the gig would start at 11 p.m. So first it was 11. Um, so 11 o'clock at night was the first set, and the third set would finish at 3 a.m. And I was a bit of an idiot and would take a rack. Who in their right mind takes a rack up and down 3 flights of stairs? Oh man, oh my god, I wasn't a smart man. So I would take a rack, like 2 sets of hats, 5 crashes. This is stupid. So by the time I loaded up all the stuff down the back of the stairs, which I've still got the hardware case, it was aluminium lined because the bottom fell out of it once, and it took 2 people. It was really a 3 or 4 person job. You could do it with 2. And I would load my car up. By the time I packed all the hardware up, packed all the car up, and that's if you literally did the James Hetfield, thank you very much, good night, and started packing up immediately. You would be out the door in the car driving home at about 4:15 in the morning. So I drive from Geelong to Cheltenham, where I was living, which is about 100 and something kilometers away. And I would walk in the door, I think usually as the sun was about to come up, if I was unlucky. And I would then get up at 9 in the morning, go teach, and then drive to a country gig somewhere. And I did that for oh geez, 3 years, I think it was. The worst. Oh man, you're gonna love this. This is great. It's like Beetlejuice. um, I did. I was the resident drummer for Channel V in Sydney for about 6 months. This made no sense. I had no idea why they liked this, but anyway, I would finish my gig at 3 a.m. Pack up super quick, leave my gear in the van of the keyboard player, and he'd take it home. Or sometimes we'd take it to the airport. I'd drive straight to Tonga Airport, have 2 hours sleep in the car, get on a plane, fly to Sydney, get picked up, shuttle to Channel V, try and have a shower. If I was lucky, I could have a shower, and then present you with a CD or even tapes are still going on. It's hilarious. And they would say, tonight you're playing these 10 songs between these 3 artists or whatever. And it was a fill-in band just flown in from all over the country. And that's where I played with Delta and Danny Minogue and all those lovely people. And sometimes they're like, here's a Discman, you put it in and you go, there's no sheet music. You have to learn all by ear. And I was lucky that some of the songs we were playing in the cover bands I was in, so it was okay. But then I would have to catch the last flight out from from the airport Saturday night, which is I think it was like quarter to midnight, some dumb time. I would land in Melbourne. I didn't have to take any gear sticks with me in my bag. I think I would be in the car by 2 a.m. and I'd be back home in Cheltenham at about, oh, I think it was about 3:30 in the morning. So I was up for 48 hours and slept for about 5. And I did that for 6 months. Um, yeah, and that was fun for the first 8 minutes of doing that, and then I realized how much it hurt. So, and did that consistently. And then like the whole red eye thing, I would do I would do Friday. What would I do Friday night? I'd do a Friday night little pub gig, and then I'd fly out to Singapore, generally the Friday night, do the Sunday. I'd do the Saturday in Singapore, so playing for corporate, then fly out Saturday night from Singapore, land in Melbourne Sunday morning, drive home, and then get up to work. So I was working in finance. I was actually working as a senior credit officer for a finance company, which was yeah, it was fun. I did that for about 6 months nonstop, every weekend, and that helped pay for the house deposit because it was just dumb money. But yeah, oh man, burnout. I did come close to a burnout. No, I had a burnout, but it was a pretty bad one. I think I kind of knew my limits were when I was playing in a band called G-Force, and we would do Crown Casino. So a place called Stakeout, which is like a sports saloon, like a sports bar, big TVs and people cheering for the same favorite basketball team or whatever football team. And around Christmas time, I think there was one year where we would put our schedules in. What weekends could you do? What weekends were you available for, or weekdays or whatever? So we'll put our schedule in, and they'll go, right, we're going to book you for every Saturday. Oh, okay, great. So you do the Thursday, the Friday gig, you do the Saturday, maybe a Sunday somewhere else as well. So this was weird this year. I was working across the road, so where Cracker Center was, I was working at the ANL building. You can guess what people called it. So what I would do is I would drive, to work in the morning, leave my car in that car park, and then go to Crown, and because all my gear was there, we would we were doing. I think we were booked in to do. I think it was about 16 gigs there in 12 days. So, um, Jim, take care, mate. See you soon. Send me an email. Thanks for coming along, and take care of yourself too. Yeah, and so I was doing these, and these weren't like 2 sets. These are 4 sets, 50-minute sets. I was like, oh my god. So by the time, and they were from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. I would do the gig, didn't have to pack up, drove straight home. But I had to get up at 6:30, get ready for work, drive back into the city, do my daily routine, do all that kind of stuff, then walk across the Esplanade, go to the next, do the next night. But some nights where you're doing Palladium, say from 7 till 9:30, and be doing some kind of corporate thing. So you're doing all the happy songs, everyone's having a fun time. Everyone's watching the clock. We had to make sure I didn't have to pack up because I had my second kit there. That was vital. And had to be downstairs. So we had half an hour I had to pack up the cymbals. I think the backing track, the music play, whatever. Run, and this place is like it's a casino, so it's like a maze. Up, down, across, down, up. To get to where you are. Get there, and we generally walk on the stage, quickly set up, and be ready to go by 10 o'clock. So after 16 gigs in 12 days, the last gig was Christmas. Was it Christmas Day? No, it was New Year's Day. And, anyone's going to chime into this live broadcast now is going to see the funniest image. I didn't have to play the first 2 sets of the 4-set gig on New Year's Day. or New Year's Day night, and I was in like this chair, like zombie. We're talking Zombieland, Woody Harrelson. I was out, man. I was screwed. So in January, when the email came around, what are your availables? I knew if I did another week like that, I'd be burnt out. So I had to say, oh man, I need a week off. Just no Friday night gig, nothing. I haven't done washing for a month. I'm just like, I don't know what year it is anymore. There wasn't a New Year's Eve. Decades changed. I have no idea. But yeah, that was kind of, I knew I was getting that burnt out process because I'd been burnt out in college, to the point where I didn't play I didn't pick up a stick for 6 months. Um, so I was like my father, he told me there's a period, so 25 plus gigs. I was working his day job as a bank manager. Yeah, yeah, man. Like it was it was brutal. Doing, and of course, if we did end of month too. So if you're obviously your father, end of month. Our end of month would sometimes go till midnight. So I think the night before our first gig was end of month at some point. No, no, Christmas. It was New Year's Eve, and that was our end of month. So we're closing off obviously the month. We're closing off the year as well. And it was one of those 42-degree days and whatever. And man, I'm at work, drooling out of my mouth because I'm so tired, and trying to explain to my boss like I have to go to this gig, and he was, no, you need to stay here. It's end of month. I'm like, I have to go to this gig, man. The screen's a blur. I can't function, and I need to play Jesus Girl on point. You know, so yeah, that was definitely a crazy experience. The money was fantastic. Like my bank account was looking healthy for a change. Um, but yeah, it definitely took a toll on me. Um, it's just like I wasn't a happy man. In January, I ended up taking some annual leave from my job because I just wanted to. When you get that feeling, you just want to lay in bed and just watch TV. Doesn't have to be anything good. It could just be complete dribble, but you just need to just not do anything and not function properly. And that's what happened to me. I did burn myself out. Exams of my when I went to college and did my practical exams, I'd been up. This was okay. Bit of scenario, a lot of scenarios tonight. The worst part about this was, for some reason, why do they always want the drums to go last in the exam process? Why? Because we're the loudest. They always do it when no one else is at school. So my problem was that I was playing in so many bands and so many projects that I was learning all this material for everybody else except for myself. Um, so I had to stay up for literally 2 days straight and just learn everything. So if anyone doesn't know that when you stay up for long periods of time, your mentally and physical ability to do literally the basic tasks of day-to-day life go out the window. Halfway through my exam of playing Charlie Wilcox's 132nd, I think it was about halfway, my body just went, no, no, no more. That's it. The mind was willing, the body just said no more. And so my arms just stopped moving. I literally went, yeah, that's it. And I just stopped. I was lucky that my judges or my teachers were like, we've seen you play, in 50 plus group performances in the last 4 or 5 days or whatever, and we've seen you practice this piece multiple times. And I walked away with a high distinction, which was great, and I was very lucky. But after that, I went to a doctor and I said, I'm just not right. I can't sleep, but I'm tired. And we talked about the whole burnout process, and he said, you're burnt out. You need to take a break. So yeah, I didn't pick up a single stick, watch a drumming DVD video on from Hudson's or anything like that for months, at least 6 months, and then I thought, oh, I should pick up a stick. I should get behind the kid again, and I started to enjoy it. But yeah, the burnout process for me was horrible. Put a lot of stress on the home front. Mum had one child and hardly saw dad. Yeah, yeah. Um, I think if I was in that position now, like obviously in that my life has changed to the point where I'm obviously married and got a family. You know, that that comes into a big play of it. Not spending copious amounts of hours and time out playing, especially when you've got a family. If I am lucky enough to get this role, I won't know for months. Hopefully no sooner. I'm on a 24-hour rotating roster, so family time will be kind of very up and down. But you know, it's essentially a 10-month year, within holidays, and then the financial benefits as well are fantastic. It would help out a lot, but I won't tell you what the job is because it's really hard to get. It's the application process alone is a year, so from start to finish. So I applied for it in July. I did my online testing in August. I've done my in-person testing last week, and the process can take up to July 2022, but that's just the closing off period. The process can go from another 6 to 12 months past that. So it's a bit of a dream job. I've been trying to get into that industry for the last, on and off the last 10 years. It's hard. It's really hard to get into. Um, and I'm at the point where I'm actually at the furthest point I have been ever. Having never gotten this far before. So, I was supposed to get my exam results on, I think, Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, and I got nothing. You know, you either get told below average, average, or above average. So I don't know, but it's a great career, great paying job. So it means that ScoMo will be out. um, good old Scotty for marketing. Um, any of the American, if there's any American people in here or anyone from the world, lovely, illustrious Prime Minister. Um, yeah, I'm not going to say I'm not a fan of him. I just think it doesn't matter who you pick, you're always going to have issues with them. But yeah, there was a rolling joke. I think you might have seen this actually. So anyone doesn't know, we had an earthquake here last week, 5.9 or six on the Richter scale, and I was in bed and I was literally bouncing. I'm like, what's going on? My wife and boss was like, I think it's an earthquake, and I'm bouncing in bed going, this is weird. Never had one of these before. Can't say I'm not a fan. Kind of cool though. That the Scott Morrison, to donate $20 million in earthquake relief fund to New South Wales due to the Victorian earthquake. I thought it was hilarious because that's how it feels right now. We feel like we're being, you know, shunned a bit. It's a hard job. I wouldn't do it either. Look. I know a lot of people. As I said, I don't come on here. I don't do anything, political, or religion based. I just don't talk about it. But say what you will about like Dan Andrews, but he's still going to work. He goes to work every day, does those really crappy North Face meetings about the current figures that are going on in Victoria and how crap things are and how pissed off he's getting. I wouldn't want to be in that job. Some of them I think could do better. I mean, Australia's burning, let's go to Hawaii. But man, it's like the same thing my dad used to say to me. It's like, there's no point in yelling at the batsman in cricket because would you see the ball coming? No, I wouldn't see the ball coming. So I do think though, deep down in my heart, I do believe that they could have done better to support the arts. I really do. Like they couldn't get JobKeeper, they can't get JobSeeker. You know, they couldn't get anything. It's just, it's crap. It really is terrible. Um, and I don't, even when they start to bounce back, start to get the gigs back again, they start to, you know, doing the cover gigs and doing that. It's like, oh, we can have 25 people. It's like, cool. But then the person playing can't take a full wage because, they're not making as much money. And it just, there's no easing back into this. It's going to take so long to get back to our some kind of COVID normal, I guess you could call it. Excuse me, mouth's a bit dry. And I look, as I said earlier, I'm not really overly fussed about doing live gigs. I get more audience reach about drumming products on YouTube than I do in a venue. And that's why I still got the lovely people who are backing me still, which is fantastic. Like Audix, Presonus, DW, Pure Sound, Evans, lovely companies have tried adding another one, but they're just not interested. And I've been trying to get onto their books for years, and just it's the two it's not what you know. Have been testing out some of the latest Audix stuff, which is great. If you want to, I'm going to be a typical YouTuber. And type something, and so be distracted. If you want to visit, now it's only look, Audix stuff is it's only based in Australia because that is the dealership agreement that we cannot sell outside of Australia and Tasmania, which is fine. But I'm hoping to add some more products. I've reached out to a couple other companies, but man, it's slow. I get asked all the time, like, will you carry this? I'm like, I'll carry it if you buy it. And I usually find like start carrying that item and then they just don't buy it. I got tickets for Rick Barker at the Con on the 30th of October, and I'm just holding my breath, hoping that the border. I would join you. It's my son's birthday. I might get in trouble. Yes, but I've got that would be a great gig. That I don't know, man. The 30th, still so. I don't know. The whole border lockdown thing. It's like, I've got a drum kit sitting in Queensland, and I've been trying to get back for months, and I can't get anyone to send it down because the borders are shut. It sucks. But yeah, the drum site is. I was going to do a video out tomorrow and do a little promo kind of thing. I am looking at doing other brands on there. I especially the brands that I use, but it takes a considerable investment, I guess you could say. So, I have this, as I said, I had this deal with my wife. If you want to buy one thing, you've got to sell another. Okay. So if I invest in buying, heads and sticks and sell them on the good old, interwebs, it could generate some income. But the thing is, though, no one's gigging, no one's playing, except for at home. No one's really earning money like they were 3 years ago, where an online store could be quite successful and kind of churn a semi decent profit. The Audix stuff has been. I mean, I've been a fan of Audix for many years. They've supported me. Then they offered us a dealership, and I couldn't refuse it. Thomas Lane uses them. I mean, come on, it's Todd. He's a beautiful man, great player, and I use them too. So, yeah, don't take my word for it. I checked out a couple of hours ago and draw over the Audix mics. Mate, look, the sale. There is a sale at the moment, which is 25% off all Audix products and free shipping. I'm not a smart man, and that's fine. And if you do place your order in, generally, stock at the moment, it is in stock, but some things sell out pretty quickly, and there's a 1 to 2 week wait. And it's not due to capacitors or an issue with product shortage. It's actually because of labor. They can't find labor to build these things fast enough and send them out. I just ordered another D6 to have on my gong drum. Oh, gone Panda drum. Yeah, tempting. Be tempted. The sale ends on midnight. How many days in September? September has 30 days. Yeah, 30 days. So midnight September is 25% off. There will be spot sales in here and there, kind of floating around. You might see a giveaway coming up of a D6. Just saying, you know, any microphones purchased on a certain date will go into the draw to win a D6 microphone. That could happen. I don't know. I have to buy that yet. So um, I've reached out to a couple of other companies. Some distributors here in Australia will only deal with you if you have a brick and mortar store. I have a house, so and I would, if I had the money to throw around, I would buy and open a drum shop because the only way you can make $4 million in the music industry in retail is to start with eight. Um, I don't have any money. I don't have that kind of money. So, if I owned a drum shop, it'd be like I'd never be open. I'd just be playing drums all day. Have my friends come down and play drums too. Yes, the sale. It's going well. It's great. But yeah, it's spending right now is really low on all counts, even on my account. Like I watch every dollar I spend at the moment. Just because next year there is a drum kit coming out. I really would like to buy it. I really would. And I made a promise to my wife as well as myself that the website profits must pay for it. That's just it. And we'll see what happens from that. All drums are for display only. Yeah, I would have the strangest drum shop. Be like, you can, when you open, we're open every day but Tuesday. All right, so when do you answer the phone? Tuesday. It's a Tuesday question. We're just never there. Um, yeah, retail at the moment is just all weird. I tried buying something the other week, and I think it was just an SSD, and it's just no stock. Who it doesn't have a stock of SSDs? Yeah, couldn't get an SSD until I think I finally got one because I've run out of hard drive space. I've got to build a NAS. I haven't built a NAS yet. I'm actually doing what am I doing? Term 4. So in America, we're term 4 is the last 9-10 weeks of the school year for us. I think we're doing cloud networking and storage. So we actually have to implementate, build, and configure our own cloud-based network and cloud storage facility. I have no idea. I can do it on my PC, but I can't do it in the cloud. No idea. Unless it's all through packet tracing and through I think through NetLabs. I don't know. We'll see how that goes next couple of weeks. Okay, so what's that? Okay, the kit. All right. I kind of got a bit of a preview of it. The DW 50th anniversary. Yeah, that's the kit. I'm looking at, but I need a certain tom made in a certain way because I sit fairly low to the ground and I like a certain depth tom. But yeah, the 50th anniversary kit would be nice. Would be pretty nice, pretty sexy. I wouldn't mind getting one of those. So I might open an OnlyFans. I'm kidding. A lot of people do that lately, don't they? Whole OnlyFans thing. I don't know what it's all about. I mean, I know what it's about, but I just don't get the whole concept of it. Yeah, I don't know. The whole YouTuber thing. Couldn't imagine me being one of those YouTubers. It'd be hilarious. I haven't started watching TikTok in the last couple of weeks because there's some funny stuff on there. All right. Any other drumming related questions? Any other? It doesn't have to actually be any drumming related questions. It could be any questions. Do you? No. Did I? Okay. Well, I tried to, and then I paid the deposit towards the kit, and then a few days went past, and the kit hadn't obviously the deposit money hadn't been received, so they'll let the kit go to a store. The funny thing is, though, I know where that kit is. I know where 3 of them are in storage at that one store, and yeah, I try. I've played the Tasty kit. A friend of mine had one, Chris Bond. I really, I really liked it. I really did because I mean it's got the Australian badge on it. It's so cool. But I just couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't secure one. But in hindsight, looking back now, it would be sitting in cases stacked in the corner. And even I, you know, I they weren't cheap. I think they were retailed for $17,999.99. Corey, Seattle, home of Starbucks, home of alternative music, home of one of my favorite bands as growing up as a kid, even now, Nirvana. Yeah, mate, Corey, I love where you are. I can tell you that now. One day I'll get over there to Seattle. Yeah, the Tassie kit really got my attention. I mean, I've got the 45th anniversary. It's a very beautiful sounding kit. It's a great kit, but the inside of the Tassie kit was like just, oh my god, this is, you kind of want to get close to it and give it a good kiss. And if one came up for sale, I may grab. But again, I mean, you're putting aside a last chunk of funds for a kit that would, for me anyway, would sit on a shelf in storage because I got nowhere to play it. And I do chat to John Good every so often about stuff, and I even tried getting a couple of extra drums made for my 45th, but it just wasn't available. And it wasn't the fact that they couldn't make the drums; the veneer wasn't no longer being produced, so it was expensive. I'm a Yamaha nerd. You're a Yamaha nerd. Your favorite Yamaha snare drum? Oh, yeah, dude, Corey. Can't believe you did this to me without a nice iced mochaccino. Oh, jeez. My personal favorite. You're asking me if I had to put. Okay, all right. Oh, geez. Okay, I'll do two. I'll do two. My favorite one is the original Maple Custom 14 by 6.5 vintage with the log issue. That drum has been borrowed and recorded on so many sessions. It's not funny. Jason Hero, man, he borrowed it. He used it on 7 out of the 10 tracks on his solo album. And the other one would be just because it's so. Oh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna. Oh, the fig's good. The limes are good. I'm gonna say out of sheer debauchery because I know it's loud, obnoxiously loud. Sounds so good. Is the Vinny Colaiuta signature snare drum, 14 by 3 and or 4 1/4 inches or whatever. Man, the crack. It's like the only way I can describe it, and it sounds strange. It's like hitting a pane of transparent glass. Glass is already transparent, but this is like just. I'd hit it. Sound people just cover their. It's just loud, and it sounds so good. But the lug issue, that drum is officially retired, detuned, in a case. Probably never see another gig again because of the lugs. Yamaha, okay. That's the guy who initially contacted JG about the timber. Oh, cool. Apparently, well, I know they're still making the Tassie, not whole kits, but they're making add-ons, and I think they're having issues with getting the timber. They can't get it at the moment for some reason. Those lugs, yeah. Workle anniversary. Ooh. Yeah. I have the 30th ones. They came out in 2014, NAM. I was up at 3 in the morning just pummeling my keyboard, watching the live, media release. And I was like Ace Ventura, just hitting the keyboard, trying to find somewhere where I could, get one, just try and I've got to get one of these things limited and they're going to sell out. You know, I'm calling my friends like, hey man, just here's my credit, just go get one. Get both. I want them, And then eventually, yes, yeah, yes, tell me offline. Yeah, that's we should chat one day. Um, and like, man, freaking out, talking to Yamaha America, because I was a Yamaha at the time. And I'm like, "Oh, dude, just trying to get these." And I didn't want to miss out because I knew they would sell quick. So trying to ring Yamaha, and they're on holidays, and no one's out. No one's answering the phone. So I eventually got hold of someone who said, "Right, the price is going to be this, like obviously your endorsement price, and which one do you want?" I said, "Oh, both of them." Maxed out my credit card to do it. And they're only getting, I think it was either one of each or two of one and one of the other. I couldn't remember. And I grabbed them, and they sat in their boxes for months just because I couldn't get to them to try them out. And yeah, man, like it's those drums are just very, very special drums. They are literally a room away in the original boxes still, with like the Haynes, and the Elvin Jones and all those ones. They're all still in their boxes and whatnot. I think most of them got the original boxes anyway. Um, Looking for a Vinny snare. I know where one is, but how do you feel? Or are you still like strongly attached to your spleen, maybe your kidney? Because I think it's going for €1,500, which is about 2,300 US, I think. They do come up. I know a couple of that are sitting around for sale at the moment, but they're never cheap. I don't know what's going on with the Yamaha used market. It's just stupid. Like the money that's going for. Um, I have a lot of Yamaha snare drums purely because I played the brand for so long. I have sold a few over the years, like some Maple Custom Absolute Nouveaux and Blue Sparkles and things like that. Um, I've kept I've kept all my signature ones. Worry about a used Vinny because of those lugs. Yeah, I think the Vinny line went up to model number 700, and the lugs were the defective um, splay lug. So the Yamaha, I had an acronym for it in one of my videos. So someone was talking to me about it. Yamaha defective lug syndrome. Yeah, YDLS. So if anyone or all six of you, I got six. I'm happy. Don't know what that is. I had one here somewhere. No, no, it's gone. Where the mounting bolt for the lug was too high up, and the locator pin was down here. So when you put under tight tension, it would pull the lug away, and eventually would snap. So a Yamaha, wise decision, decided to re-engineer the lug and swapped the locator pin from here to the top and the single node point down to the bottom. Uh, but over time, die-cast lugs, they suffer from a thing called embrittlement, and they just snap off. And if you watch the Dave Werkle video, happened to me live on camera, and that was the first Yamaha lug I ever bought, but it was enough to put the fear of God on me. I'll worry about, yeah. Tama Bell Brass review when? Are we talking the 85, 84, 85 model? I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'm trying to get. Wasn't that your Gate Snare? No, that was the Werkle Snare. I had to find someone to post on to the Gate Snare when I bought it. Oh man, you know, I've been trying to get the Black Album Snare. I really, and you could hate on me all you want, and people do when I say this. The Lars Ulrich snare drum is actually a really decent drum. It sounds phenomenal, and I don't know why. It's just a drum that works. I can't explain it. Um, Okay, the checker plate. All right, not so great. I am trying to get the Lars Black Album snare drum. We only got 4 in Australia, and you had to go into a ballot to win one. Not win one, but the store gets put into a ballot to where they can buy one to sell. So yeah, I can't get one, and I'm not paying 5 grand US for one. Like, just no. Um, I've got a contact overseas, and they haven't received their stock yet. Trying to get one of those. I would love, absolutely loved to get the Tama Bell Brass, the original, because I truly believe that is one of the holy grail snare drums. And for me, hearing so many albums, but man, the Black Album, when you hear, have you ever listened to the sad but true isolated drum sound? Like, man, it's like just, phenomenal. Like it's the ba dun 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 do 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 gaga, and just hear this 2 snare hits on the 1E, and just like, what was that? And then you hear the breakdown, the do do ga bolt, just that snare drum sound is the whole drum sound is just off the chain. But that snare drum, I have been trying to borrow one if I can. I know there's a reissue floating around here in Australia, there's a couple, but the OG, because I know the OG was slightly bigger, his didn't quite fit it properly. So I was like an oversized drum. My Duluth 14 by 6.5 is a little bit oversized. And that thing is just brutal. Like, it's loud, but it's not obnoxious loud. But it will wake your ancestors. Like, it goes through walls. I can't describe it. And that's got cast hoops. It's 3 mil with 5 mil rear rings. Weighs 14 kilos. I'd definitely choose different lugs next time. I would actually love to go. I wanted DW lugs, but I was going to get in trouble, so I couldn't do it. Thanks for the wonderful videos. Keep them coming and be safe. Mate, Corey, thank you for coming along. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. This impromptu thing I decided to do. And yeah, Matt, take care of yourself. Yeah, the OG. Yeah, I'd love to get the Tama Bell Brass. I mean, the whole kit you could hire from drum doctors in Hollywood. Imagine doing that, man. Just, perspex and the studio walls and 18-inch subs pumping the bass drums through them again. Can you light me on the difference between the Dunnet G4 and the Gibraltar G4 version? I want the Dunnet, but can only find the Gibraltar. Do you want to know a secret? They're the same. I'm pretty sure they're the same. The Ron Dunnett licenses out his R-type throw-offs and the G4s out to Gibraltar to produce. I mean, that was a few years ago. I don't think things have changed. Yeah, I mean, they're the same. So it may take you a while, but you can email Ron. Best to email him, not through Facebook. Just email him directly through Dunnett Drums at his website, and he'll sell anything to you if you need or you want it. But last time I think I needed my excuse me. I think I need on my Kepling that I bought the snare drum, the actual adjuster. For some reason, as you're playing it, just undoes slowly. The spring tension is gone in it. And I said to Ron, I need a new strainer. And he goes, what do you got there? You got this one, this one. Oh, it's the R type. And then he told me just get the Gibraltar. They're the same. And the one that arrived was Gibraltar. So, ask for black. Yeah, ask for a black one. I would love to have another Dunnett snare drum in my collection. All black, of course, because it's the way it is. But maybe go a shallower depth. I mean, I love the 14 by 6. Oh, maybe go 14 by 8. That'd be a weapon. Do my Bobby Rock at the hair, the perm. Hit the bass drum 3 feet above the pedal. But yeah, the Dunnett stuff is fantastic. Anybody else got anything to say before I start doing some card tricks? don't have any cartridges. Or before I go to bed because it is like 10 to 2 in the morning. Don't be greedy. No, I try not to be greedy with stuff. I know. Oh man, who was it? It's a drum collector. I don't know who it is. Can't remember his name. Don't know him personally, but I think he owns like 14 Vinny snare drums, like the Yamaha Vinny. I'm like, why? What? I mean, two or three, yeah, I guess, but why 14? Oh man, I just gotta have more. Yeah, there's 700 of these things floating around. So I try to be agree with anything. What are the sizes, width, and depth of the drums on your drum kit? Example: snare, toms, bass, kick, and how do you tune them to your liking? So you're talking about the 45th anniversary kit. All the kits featured on the channel are all the same sizes because that's how DW make them. So it's 8 by 8, 10 by 8, 12 by 9. I prefer a 12 by 8. I can get one. 14 by 12 floor, 16 by 14 floor, and a 22 by 18 kick. And that's kind of the basic configuration. Snare toms, snare drums. I would say I'm always a 14 by 6.5 kind of guy. If I use a piccolo, I find it's like hitting just concrete, just bam hard, you know. But I do prefer a bit of a fatter drum with a capital PH. How do I tune them? Well, this is the thing, right? For the first, say, 2 or 3 months of playing DW drums, I couldn't get a half decent sound out of them. Excuse me. I'm like, I'm changing hands. You know, at this point, I was playing Remo. Actually, I wasn't playing with anything. I was just using Remo. Then I tried Evans, and I even tried other brands. I'm like, it's not working. What's going on? And I'm sitting down one day, and I'm having a long chat to my DW artist rep. I said, "Man, I mean, I've been tuning drums, playing drums for most of my life. I can. I'm not the best in the world at tuning, but I know I can get a really good sound. What am I doing wrong?" And he said straight up, "You're tuning them like a Yamaha." I was like, "Oh, that's a good one." So I went home and I took common drum sizes like 10 by 8, a 14 and a 16. Don't worry about the 12 because 12's just, I didn't know how to take that one. And I didn't, I started them tuning them where Yamaha you could kind of go, or you know, I'm telling you where I want you to go. I'm telling you the drum how I want to tune you because the tuning range, that's where the tuning range kicks into it. Like, how happy is the drum going to be? So I grabbed a set of G1s, so clear G1s, tops and bottoms. And I'm going from double ply to single ply, not toilet paper. That's always 3-ply. But didn't know what to do. Chucked them on, and I tuned those drums to where they wanted to be. Not me trying to dictate the sound to the drum, if that makes any sense. So, I didn't worry about, go, oh, I tuned my kit in third or fifth. So no, I'm tuning this drum how how the drum wants to be tuned, how happy it is. And then I would start something different. So they're going 10, 12, 14, 16. I'd start backwards. I'd go 16, 14, 12, 10, 8. Because if you start high, the 10, you go, that's perfect. And you get to the 12, you go, I have to go a little bit lower. And you get to the 14, you go, it's not sitting well because I want it to be low, but I can't have it too low because you get that rumble, that weird, honky sound. And then you go to 16, and then it's just, those beach bally effects. So I generally tune bottom all the way up and tune the drum, especially DW drums, how they want to be tuned. If that makes any sense at all, let me know. Bass drums. Okay, and bass drums, I like to have as little in them as possible, but that's depending on what music I'm playing. I generally have an EMAD heavyweight or an EMAD clear, and I've recently tried I love the frosted heads. If I was using the Remo stuff, which I haven't done for a while, PowerStroke 3 can't really go wrong. But if I'm playing live, pillow, blanket, make it nice and level, compact, D6 in the front, can't go wrong. Thoughts on the new-ish Benny Graham? Ooh, it's pornographic what you just said then. A friend of mine just got one, and I really want one because he's a mad Sonar guy. And he grabbed the brass version, and he's like, never had brass before. I was like, dude, Speedy, grab snare drum. It's Sonar. It's going to be good. So I was like, all right. He grabbed it, and he called me up, and he said, dude, you got to get one of these drums. I'm like, well, yeah, they're a bit pricey here. But I really dig them. I like the first ones. I think the second one with the actual the muffling options is a brilliant idea. I like to not use moon gel because it just turns heads blue. It gives it a greasy feeling. You get fuzz and sticky stuff to them, bits of old stick. I haven't played one. No, sorry. I played one in the store, kind of drums everywhere, and I loved it. And if anyone wants to send me one, please do. I think they're a fantastic drum, and yeah, and get one if you can. Over the years, I've had many lessons with late great Ron Sanderlands. Oh yeah, Dean Cooper. Yep, who were just amazing drummers. Who are your favorite local drummers? Local favorite drummers. Oh, jeez. Well, Virtual Donati is not local, but used to be. It's a tough one. Uh, Jeez, it's hard, you know. It's like I'm a fan of the MCU. Then Robert Downey says, "What's your favorite movies outside the MCU?" Be like, oh, I know which I'd choose, but Darren Ferrugia, definitely up there. Jerry Pentazes. Jerry is like the silent assassin. He's always working, and then you see him on TV all the time. And he's a beautiful man. Pete Drummond, monster player and super sweet guy. Dave Beck. I haven't heard or seen of him for a while. He's a brilliant drummer too. Daniel Ferrugia, who's got a brilliant album on Spotify. He's got a couple of albums actually. He played with Busy Higgins for a few years. Will Hull Brown, who they actually just announced they're disbanding after 20 years of the K Empire. One of my favorite players. It's tough, but see, because I know some of these guys, and they're like some of them are close friends, like Dean Kennedy, who is just crazy player, like trad, feed, metal, prog, and he's a fantastic player too. I think when it comes down to who we can look up to in terms of motivation or inspiration, um, someone once told me that even when someone's not a great player, they're still going to have their fine moments, which are going to inspire you. And I've always learned from that. Like, there's some plays where you walk in and go, no, they're not bad, and then they just do something and go, what was that? Like, they could be just playing four on the floor and with the deepest pocket, unexplainable, don't know how they're doing it, and you just mesmerized. I was in LA, many years ago, and I saw in a park just guy playing drums. Guys were just jamming, and I stood there with my really bad coffee and my pastry. Excuse me, and I was just, what is this guy doing? And he was doing. If you could, I'm gonna have to do drummer speak. Luckily, there's drums in here, so it's like a and it's just like this really fat groove, and he didn't sway from that, and the pocket was just crazy. And I stood there, holding my coffee, and when he finished, and I finished my coffee, he came up to me and goes, "Oh man, you don't look local." I said, "No, I'm from Australia." And he looked at me and he said, "Are you annoyed?" And I said, "No." Man, your pocket and the groove was phenomenal, And he was saying, "Oh, I'm not very good." I'm like, "Man, this guy should be on TV. This guy should be gigging 24 days a week." You know, Phenomenal player. And I went and saw Gary Novak, and I saw so like Jerry Brown from Stevie Wonder, a whole bunch of players playing. Zach Danzig was there at NAMM, like floating around. Eric Hernandez, but this one guy, man, don't know his name, can't remember it, and just groove was just fat and dirty, a dirty groove, and I loved it. Um, so it's kind of the thing when I see these people playing in clubs and pubs and even on YouTube, and it's like you go past a video and go, not bad. And then this feel will just come in and nowhere. You go, wow. Okay. All right. That was serious. So from the local guys, I mean, apart from the guys I mentioned, John Corniella, you ever want your ass kicked into submission if you feel like you're playing as bad, get some lessons to John Corniola. Man, not just exceptional player, but great motivator. So I think Darren Mullen from Queensland. I can't. I'm trying to reel off names now. I'm struggling. I think that's about all I can think of. Johnny Selena I've mentioned. Yeah. Bruce Corrin from Geelong. Brad Dawson's pretty cool too. But Bruce is, yeah, he's got arms and legs like an octopus. Big Skelton is a favorite. Yes. Oh yeah. Big Skelton, Mark Kennedy. Yeah, those kind of guys. They're Michael Barker. They're phenomenal players. It's just what annoys me about Australia is that we have such a small. I mean, we are an island after all. We have such a small opening in the world of music and especially drumming. Like, I've had a few people say, "Come to America, do your channel here, and we'll set you up in a studio." And it's like, yeah, can't do that. I can't do it. Uprooting your family for a YouTube channel, which sounds like fun, good work, but never know. Yeah, Mark used to teach me. Yeah, yeah. Brian Chimpinski as well. He's a great teacher. I think it's something that got thrown around in the conversation a few weeks ago. Actually, is that you would generally find you either had a good teacher who could teach really well, but kind of not play as great, or you had a really good teacher who could play, but their teaching skills weren't, overly fantastic. But I think in Australia we have a lot of guys who are just well versed as players and teachers, all in one kind of thing. Which we're very lucky to have. I know I'd love to go back and get lessons again from certain people. I had lessons from overseas from people. The funnest one I ever had was Greg Bissonette. I never laughed so hard in my life. I would like to get some. I had a lesson from like with Donati and Weckl, many years ago in Australia. That was great. Went to Ron's funeral. So he's a great drummers in the tennis. Yeah, drumming community. I think the drumming community in general is pretty good. It's like any industry, especially when it comes to art, like being an artist. You're gonna have that certain ego to you, which is fair enough. There's certain things in my playing which I don't want. I don't want to show people because it's the only tricks I've got. But I think when it comes to just drummers and even just musicians in general, I don't know if you, Glenn, you probably would remember that a few weeks ago we lost an amazing drummer, Dave Matthews. Suddenly, like literally was exceptionally tragic. I still, fairly numb about. I can't believe he's gone. He's another great player. He did Denny Hines. God, he did everything. That guy. And yeah, it's just taken way, way, way too soon. Loving wife, beautiful kids, and I can't say goodbye because COVID, which just sucks. We lost a mate of mine a few years ago, 2014, or even 20. I can't remember now. Gee, it's going back a bit. 2014, I thought. George Christie, Melbourne-based drummer. Actually, if you watch the Steve Gadd crash, the K Custom crash, I bought that from George not long before he passed. That was a really hard video for me to even think about doing. I never played that cymbal up until that video, and I'll never play it again. It's it was supposed to be framed last year, but we'll get it framed this year, so it'll be framed with dedicated to George Christie. That whole era was horrible. only way I can describe it is like if you ever feel the way where you need to do something drastic, just call someone. I spoke to him. I think literally, I think I spoke to him on the phone about 3 days before he died, and then I think it was the day before by Facebook. I sent a couple of chat messages. I saw his status. He said his mum wasn't well, and then I was driving home from the city and got a phone call from a friend of mine, Dave Nolan, who we all knew George, and he said that yeah, he'd unfortunately taken his own life. And yeah, I rang work and just said I'm going home, and I said well, I just found out this, so yeah, yeah, tough, just yeah, but we all banded it around. I actually couldn't make it to the funeral because I had a massive. I want to say, well, okay, I had a car accident. It was a massive car accident. It was big enough, but the lady got out of her car and hit me in the head with a shoe. So I actually I had a concussion for hitting the car, the A pillar, and then she hit me with a shoe multiple times through the window, even though she was at fault. So I ended up with a concussion. Going to hospital, and then I was at the hairdressers on the day of, I think it was either the 30th of December or the 30th. I think it was the 31st or the 30th. I don't know. I remember I was playing the gig with a concussion, and I think it was the 31st of New Year's Eve as the funeral. Yeah, and I couldn't go because I was trying to be sick and trying to pass out. Um, yeah, so let's try not to make this too morbid, but yeah, mental health is we don't talk about it enough. I think need to address these things, especially now. You know, I call probably at least my friend Phil from Shinbone Drums at least 2 or 3 times a week because either he calls me, I call him, and we just chat. It could be about drums, could be about how the life is and how kids are going. And I do that with all my friends. We all do it with each other. So I got Eric from the States, chat to him, Danny Kim, Randy Walker, um, Todd on that, excuse me, generally by SMS or emails and whatnot. But yeah, it's like, sometimes it's good just to randomly talk to people and see how they're going. Not necessarily talk about anything in specific, just talk. I think even this week, as we speak, I'll be having an online Lego building session with a guy I've known for 10, 12 years, who are a big part of the car scene, and we both like Lego, so we're going to jump on Zoom. We're going to build something. I think I've got the Imperial probe droid, Star Wars. Yeah. Yeah, I was really big in the car scene for a while. Did some charity drives, and my car was in a magazine and all that kind of stuff. Mechanic son background, so working on cars my whole entire life. And yeah, so I'm gonna catch up with him at some point. And he's not anything to do with music. He's just a great guy and a great friend. So, all right, we've got 2 minutes left till 2 hours. I've been crapping on for 2 hours. Good advice. Yeah, call my friends and throughout the last 12 months just to check in. Yeah, same. Christian, I understand that what you explained. Really appreciate it. Mason, mate, anytime, always here. Send me an email. Get me through the page or the website or whatever. If you've got any questions, I'm always happy to help you out. Yeah, it's always good to check in with your friends. Just to see how they're doing. I talked to a mate of mine, went through a really bad rough patch with cancer, and yeah, make sure he's still going well. I think he's in the last session of chemo, which is going really well. That's Bruce Curran. We did a fundraiser for him a couple months back. Such a great. Oh, mate, I appreciate it. I will take that compliment and I'll run with it. Yeah, thank you so much. I don't believe my drumming is overly anything special, but thank you. As I said, I do really appreciate it. Any more questions? Anyone got thoughts or anything like that before I say good night? Because it is now 10 past 2 in the morning and I kind of have to wake up in 6 hours. Um, I hope you're all staying safe. I hope you're all doing okay. The world sucks right now. There's no denying it, but there's still, little glimmers of hope. And if we all stick together, we can try and get through this and hopefully come out slightly unscathed. Thank you, time, young fella. Ask me in the morning, mate. Send me a message and I'll tell you how I'm feeling. I'll get to it soon, like I said, loving the vids. Thanks, brother. I really appreciate it. I might do this on a semi-regular. I might do this once a week, just to jump online and chat. And I think I will do a Zoom hang where we just get people in. Obviously, I'll limit it to certain people, certain amount, and we'll just chat. Talk about whatever. Always try and keep it clean, but the odd joke might come out. I heard a great one the other day. William Shatner's line of ladies' lingerie got pulled from the shelves. Shatner panties didn't do so well. Anyway, I thought it was hilarious. Oh, it's such a bad dad joke. Anyway, all right, I am going to head off, and as I said, if you want to go past the website, which I'm going to, is that YouTuber thing where they're doing this? Yeah, I'm not doing that. You can go past the drum store and have a look. I still can't believe I got this domain name, which is freaking hilarious. And I actually got one the other day too, just out and yeah, it's great. I got a domain the other day, which I still can't believe I got it. And I'm like, no, there's no chance this is going to be available. But it is. And I got it. And it's hilarious. I'm like, that shouldn't have been that easy to get. I can't even got the drumstore.com. I mean, seriously. Anyway, one more dad joke before I go. What's the difference between people in Dubai and the people in Abu Dhabi? The people in Dubai don't like the Flintstones, but the people in Abu Dhabi do. I'll show myself out after that one. That's pretty bad. All right, I am going to go. I am going to end the stream. I don't know if I'll upload this one. See how we go. It's always good to have a hang. Thank you so much for being here in this impromptu little live stream. I appreciate it as much as possible. And I think, you know what? Next time I do it, I'm going to give something away. Not a snare drum. Maybe some sticks. How's that sound? Yeah, let's do some sticks. Yes, I'll be giving that Audix deal serious consideration. Night, folks. Yep. Night, everybody. You take care, and I'll see you all very, 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 very soon. This is now ruined because I actually have to end the stream. So please take care, and I'll see you all soon. And nighty night, folks.